Welcome to Code with Steven today. We're still on our CSS and we are wrapping intermediate CSS up. And for that reason, we want to handle our final project on intermediate CSS. From there, we proceed to advanced CSS. So talking about the final project, if you take a look at this, you see an image. This image looks like a photo, a picture that is taken, right? Very good background, good picture with everything there. But it may interest you to know that this image was actually not an image. It wasn't even a picture. It wasn't even a photo. But this is just CSS work. The person that actually designed this is Diana Adrina, and she designed herself using purely CSS. You can find this website at https://diana-adrina.com, then pureself-list. So if you're able to go there, you will see exactly this image. And if you go further, you see that he spent a whole lot of CSS coding this. A lot of pages of CSS was used to code herself. You take a look at the CSS, a lot of divs, a lot of background positioning, so many things that she used to accomplish this. So many things. Just take a look at the hair, just the hair of her hair. It's all of this design. All of this was used for this. So we run into pages upon pages upon pages. Apart from her, there's another person again, which is Pato at pato.github.io. Simpson, I was able to also design a lot of things. All these images we are seeing there are product of CSS. They are not just real images, but they are product of CSS. So all this help to prove that actually some people, mostly designers, who are also developers, has gone far in CSS. But I'm far from this. I can't even design any of this, And I believe I'm not alone. Maybe you too might be in the same shoe with me. So I'm not going to be designing this because our goal is to design a website. So for that reason, we want to design a flag. And here with me are all the world's flags ranked by fuzziness. Fuzziness means by how hard it is, okay? If you take a look, the first one like Palu, Nigeria, and so many of them. Like if you check up, you see Palu, you see Japan, you see Ukraine, you see Latvia, you see Nigeria, and these are the easiest, commonest, very easy to design. Of course, if I take to design this, you won't waste time to get this. Okay, you just create 3 div and stuff like that. So, but there's one I want to design today, which is the flag of lives, AUS. Okay, why the most difficult one to design are this? Especially the most difficult is Serbia. If you are from Serbia, sorry for you if you want to design your flag using CSS, because it's going to be really tough, it's going to be real work for you. Okay, but of course you can do it if people can design themselves using CSS and much more a flag. So today, this is what I want to design, the flag of lives. Okay, and for you to design this, I want to show you a sample of what you need to do. Then I will now leave you to do it. Okay, of course we do it together, but don't copy my work. Don't wait for me to do before you do it yourself. Okay, first of all, try your best, lay your hands on it, design something like this. Then when you fail, you now use my own as a correction. This way you are learning. Okay, so that much ado, let's hop into our CSS and see if we can actually get this beautiful design in place. Okay, so here in my CSS, I just create a file, flag.html, and another flag.css. That's the 2 flags. Okay, nothing is there from my usual new file. Okay, you know how to do this. I did that just last class. If you've forgotten it, go back to last class. So here, let's bring our HTML skeleton. Straight away, and then let's put a title what we want to design. It's the flag of lives. Okay, flag of lives. Then let's link our HTML with our CSS. Of course, you use link. And remember what you save it with. Mine is flag.css. So it's already there for me. Then let's come to the body, and I want to explain something for you on the body. Never start doing your own. Okay, listen to my explanation first before you start doing your own. That's the reason why I'm doing all of this. Okay, let's start with the div first. I want to create a div. and the div should be div.flag. That is, the class should be flag. Okay, div.flag. Then in between the div, bring it down, come over here and type the flag. Okay, a paragraph. Create a paragraph. In that paragraph, write the flag. Then create another div. Which happens to be the child of the first div flag. Okay. So for this div, do not give him any class. Just create the div, empty div. Okay. Now in between this div, create another div, which is also a child to this div. Okay. And this, for this particular div, give him a paragraph. And after the paragraph, put lives. Okay. The flag of, okay, of lives. Let's put off lives. Yeah, something beautiful like this. Okay. Let me just bring it down so you see what we're doing. Okay, so it will be, you can leave it that way, there's no problem with that, but anyway, you just make sure that it's like this. So Ctrl S for save, and let's run it and see. Open live saver, and I want this live saver to be side by side with us. Okay, so we can easily, as we are working, we are watching what we are doing. Okay, this is it, the flag of lives. So now you notice, this is what I want to tell you before you start your work. Check the div. We created about 3 divs, right? And on that 3 divs, we didn't give him any, only the first one was given a class, which is flag. Okay, so don't give class to the div, just leave it exactly like this, and use this to go to your CSS and design the project. Okay, if you give him a class, become very simple for you. But we don't want it to be simple for you. Okay, I want it to be a little bit complicated, so you can use your ingenuity. Okay, you have to understand to figure out how you can do this. But I tell you what, if you remember what you started from beginning, your specificity, your relativity, like talking about your ancestral, the child relation, family tree, and the rest of them, you should be able to produce something like that. Okay, and don't forget your positioning as well. So everything we're blending from CSS from day one, part of what you learn from HTML from day one, will be practiced here. I wish you the best. Lay your hands on it right now and see if you can figure it out. And as you're also doing it, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Okay, hopefully I believe you are doing it now. Have you started it? Start right away, because I want next time now, let me bring the solution, but don't look at the solution. Do your own. Pause this video now, produce your own, then come back here and look at the solution. Okay, so how far have you started creating something? Now let's go together and see if we can actually do the rest together with you. Okay, so if you check very well, like I told you, I would like to inspect. Remember your Chrome inspection. You can actually copy that image and inspect it on Chrome. The reason why you want to inspect the image on Chrome is very simple, so that you can be able to know the sizes. Okay, so you have a right to do that, and to do that, just simply right click, and when you right click, you click on inspect. So that way you can actually inspect this project on Chrome. Okay, and when you inspect it on Chrome, you'll be able to know the size and everything that this project has. Okay, so but for now, I'll also tell you the size in case you're not able to do that. The size is 900 pixels for width, while the height is 600 pixels. And with that, you can start up your work and start really fast. So let's go to CSS flag.css. But don't worry about the size, that doesn't matter. If you're able to put your own size and get something like that, it's fine and good. So that's why I didn't tell you at the initial stage that he has a size. Okay, so let's start with the first one, which is flag. Open your code browser, bring it down, and start with the width. And remember, we say the width is 900 pixels, right? 900 pixels. Then we say the height. Say the height is 600 pixels. Remember, I'm going to do a lot of calculation here. My calculation isn't that much, but I know it's something you can do. 600 pixels. Okay, then you bring it down. So at this point, let's give him a background color. Also, if you right click your Chrome extension, can be able to know the color that was given to this. Of course, it's red, but if you really want to give the exact color, you can open the Chrome extension and then inspect the color and see the background color and see the color that we gave to it. Okay, so but for now, the color I gave here is hash CEI126. Okay, so you know how to get your hash. Hash CE1126. Okay, I see E1126. I is not there, sorry. I see E1126. So we finish this. Ctrl S for save. Run your program and see if it works. Yeah, of course it works. This is the color. We've got now a background color for the flag. So move to the next. I want us to finish everything for now. Start positioning them. Okay. So go to the next one, and on that next one, I want to start with that's where we'll come. Let me do explanation a little before we continue this. Okay. If you check very well, this is the div. The class is flag. While here is another div that has another div on it. Okay. Now for the first div, if you check very well, the first div is parent to the second div. Remember talking about parent-child relationship. Okay, so the first div is a parent to the second div, and for that reason, you can use your angle bracket to trace and try this div using specificity. Okay, so how do we do that? Let's go back to our CSS. Let me show you right away how you can achieve that. So we know that we are still on the flag is the parent, so dot flag, which is a parent. Bring it down. Dot flag, which is a parent. Then we say he has a child, and for us to track the child, you have to use your, you see it, just like the way we started with our HTML, greater than, less than. Okay, less than, greater than. So use your greater than. Give a space, and then type the div. So what are we trying to tell our program or CSS? That look, I have a child and I want to also design or style the child. So this way you can trace the child and style it. Now remember the width for the parent is 900 pixels. If you check our design, we always work with reference to your design. Look at the design. In fact, let me bring the design down here because we're going to be making use of the design. So I'll be seeing it and we'll be explaining it straight away, straight up. Okay, so let me just create, put it here. I can always see the design we are doing and use it as point of reference. Okay. If you look at the design, you find out that the blue color, whatever color is this, it covers the whole. Okay, it covers everything here. So, but if you check here, it didn't cover completely, only cover for width. Okay, so for that reason, we give our width 100%. And that's 100%, right? That means he has to take exactly 900 pixels as well, just like the parents. Okay, so you can also just write 900 pixels, so it will be exactly the same width that is with the parents. But what about the height? The height, you see there's a space, the blue is in between, just like at the center. Okay, so that is half, so that means should be half. So if this is 900 pixels or any pixels you give your own, you should know that the height for the child should be half. Okay, so I'll give this 300 pixels. 300 pixels. Hope the explanation is clear enough. 300 pixels. And then we also give him a background. Okay, for the background, you can also use your Chrome expression to actually know the color. Okay, but it doesn't really matter. You can also give him red. The color is not the main thing. It means for you to achieve something like this. Okay, but for this background, we give him a color of hash 1002868. Okay, hash 002868. That's the color we give. So we put our hash 002868. 002868. Ctrl S for save as usual. So bring this down and see if it applies. Of course it does. Look at it. So our work is taking shape, right? But if you check very well, find out that it's still very, very top compared to what we are working on. You see what we're working on is at the center. Look at it's at the center, right? Look at it. It's at the center. It's at the center. But ours now is still very, very top and a lot of space here. But don't worry, we're going to work on that very soon. Let's not rush into that. Okay, but now start positioning, repositioning to achieve that. So this is how we also note where each comes in. Okay, where each comes in. Now for you to bring it down and do the rest, you have to use positioning. So, but before that, let's go and finish up the work. So we want to go to the last one, which is the circle. And as usual too, let me bring you then. If you check the circle, it has a paragraph of lives, right? And it has another div. And this div, I would like to bring my work down. Sorry, let me bring it down. Sorry. And that's not what I'm talking about. Now, this div is a parent to this. Remember, this, our last div, is a child to this div. And this div is also a child to our class, which is flag, right? So that means that this last one, the third div, is just like a kind of grandson or granddaughter, whatever you can call it. Or why the other one is just like the ancestor of this. So how do we achieve that? The same process. We have to add the third div using that same greater than sign to let the CSS know that you are talking about a grandchild. Okay, grandchild. So let's go back there and finish the work. So I come over here, and as usual, I also start with dot flag. Give a space greater than for the child of that, which is div. Then we also find out that div also has a child, and that is that child I want to actually design now or style now. So that is another div. Okay, it's not simple. Then bring it down, bring down. So what I'm going to give him? Let's start with the width. If you check very well, as well, let's go back. Always make reference to what we are working on, right? You see it's a circle, right? How do we turn it to circle? That's the first thing you should learn, how to turn this to circle. Use border radius to turn to circle, and you make it 50%, okay? Now after that, you feel that a circle is also the same size of width and height. So how do you achieve that? You can just decide to give him any height that will be the same thing with width and height. So for me, I'm going to give him a width of 200 pixels, okay? 200 pixels. And also a height of 200 pixels. A height of 200 pixels. And remember, it's also in relation to the first width and height, which is the parent width and height, okay? Everything you do must go in accordance. Then after that, I'll come over here, add the background color, and give him a class of white. This one doesn't need to do much. You can know it's white. White is white, okay? The class of white, and then S for save. Let's see if we've achieved our goal again. Of course, this is it, but it's still a circle. But I want it to be exactly like this, okay? Want to be a circle, it's still a square. Want to be a circle, it's like a rectangle. So how do we achieve that? It's very simple. I just told you before now, but let's do it. So bring in your mouse down and give me a border radius. Okay, border radius should be 50%. Once you put it 50%, it will turn to circle immediately. So for each time you want to create a circle, use border radius of 50%. It's a general rule. Okay, Ctrl S. Of course, see it has turned to a circle. But remember, the circle is at the center. So, but we've achieved our goal. We've created three things: our red, our white, our blue, and inside our blue, the white, and then the last red. What it means for us to now position them to be at the right position. So now, right straight away, let's start with positioning. Okay. Now, for the positioning aspect, we want to give this relative. The parent should be relative positioning, and there's a reason for that. Remember, relative positioning does not go in relation to anything, right? What about absolute positioning? It goes in relation to the parent. So for him to go in relation to the parent, you have to give the parent relative position. Okay, that's just the explanation I can give, but there are more. But let's just leave it that way. S for save. Then you now come to this, the parent, the child. So that means we have to give position of what? Absolute. So I can go in line with his relatives or his parent. Okay. The position should be absolute positioning. Okay, Ctrl S for save. and then we need to also bring it down. We need to bring it down, and for us to bring it down, we have to talk about the top. Okay, so let's give me a top of 150 pesos. And I believe you know what I'm giving him 150 pesos, right? The reason is very simple. It's simply because if you check very well, this is 900. The width completely is 900. Is 600, right? The height is 600. And since the height is 600, I want to take a quarter of the height, which is so I can be on the middle. So that means we leave up 150, down 150, 300, another 150, 150, 300, which is by divide by 2. So when you divide that 300 by 2, you have 150 left. So for that reason, you give him 150 pesos. And I tell you, it's going to position very well now. Transfer save. Did you see it? So it align very, very well. Equal. They align equal. The red up, the red down, align equally. Okay? So that is how you do that. So that is how many people who prefer, when there's a parent and child, they always prefer giving the parent relative position and the child absolute position. Most developers always make use of this. So take note of this for your own work. Okay? So let's go to the child of the child, or the child of the parent, which is the child of the other one. So bring it down, position it. It has to be relative. Okay? I can also work in line. So I give position of relative. And we also want to give me a top. So for the top, you also have to understand something very well. If you check here, it's 50 pesos down here. So because already is 200, 200, 200, 100. The remaining 200 that remain divided by 2 have 100 pesos. So divide 100 pesos by 2 have 50 pesos. I'll make sure that this is centered. So top should be 50 pesos. Give our top 50 pesos. And if you give our top 50 pesos, we are left with, we now come to the width. Remember, the width is 900 pesos, okay? So for that 900 pesos, it has to be 350. So I can position yourself very, very close to the center, okay? It's also the same calculation if you want to run it. So left should be 350. You may left of 350 pesos. 350 pesos. Address for save. Of course, it has gone. But if you check, it looks as if it's more of a down here, while there's a lot of space here. Well, that is not an issue. It's because of that same parent and child relationship. Remember, every HTML has a kind of position on it, static position. So this our right of, which is the paragraph, has a static position. And on this static position, it also has a width, okay, and a height, and also a margin. So if you move this margin to be 0, this box will center very well. How do we do that? Let's go to the next one now and work on our paragraph. So I have to go to a paragraph element, which is P. And for that, you can just type P for the whole paragraph, okay? Now let's make it margin 0. So I can remove that margin that is there. Because if you go to the, if you right click and use your expression, you find out that there's a margin on this, okay? So we'll remove that margin. If that will do that will take our time. I don't want this class to be too long. So margin should be 0. Okay, Control S for save. Of course, you see now everything is now balanced. Now for this, we are still on paragraph. On the paragraph element, you have to understand one thing, okay? That on that paragraph, we're giving a font size, okay? And the font size we give you is 5 rem, but you can decide to give your own size, okay? But if you want to actually achieve this goal and get what I get, then give him font size to be 5 rem, okay? So let's start with font size. The font size should be 5 rem. Should be 5 rem, 5 rem. Okay. Let's for save. Of course, see that everything now balanced. Become like, if you check our circle we are designing, it look almost like it. You see it? So you are getting it. We are getting it there. Okay. But this is black. This is black, and we want this to be white and this to be black. Exactly something like this. We check here, so that the flag is white of lives is black. Okay. Of course, there are very simple way you can do this. Just simply for this flag, which is already on the parent position, I give me a color of black, and now come over and give me a color of white, and leave this to remain black. Yeah, but I want to take you to the long way, so that in case you are working and you face this dilemma, you should be able to know how to solve it. So let's give him the same color first. which is color white. Okay, color of white, and you see what will happen, and that's what will take us to what I'm talking about. Color of white. Rest for save. Now we can't see this any longer, right? But we know that this is also a child. Okay, it's also a child to a parent, that a parent that's also a child to another parent, another child to another parent. So targeting that, we can also target this and get that. So let's go and target that before we come back and finish up with, like here we want to tell what we're supposed to center it. But before we center it, let's go and target this first. So let's come down. Remember, we are going back to this. So, but for now, let's come down and finish this. And for that to achieve that, we also start with flag, which is the parent. The grandparent now, right? The grandparent now. Name it flag, which is dot flag. Dot flag. No open of code browser yet, sorry. Then you give a space. Then you give him the first div, which is the parent, which is a child to flag. You give him a space. You can try to put comma if you want to, but you don't need putting comma this time around. And the second div, which is a child to the first div, give him a space. And then the paragraph, which is a child to the last div, which is P. Then, as usual, bring your code browser down and give him a color of black. That's all. Very simple. Give him color of black. Okay. Rest for save. Of course, it has worked. So the next thing that I mean for us to center our work and give him the normal finishings. Okay. So for us to do that, let's go back to paragraph and do that normal finishing. So come down, make your family. Let's say the family should be font family. Let's give him. I always like area, as I told you before now. And let's make text align center, text align. So all these ones are just normal things that if you want to do, you can do it. Okay, so we don't give much on this. That's all. So let's now check our work. This is the flag of life. Let's check the one they say we should do. It's not the same thing. Is there any difference? Of course, no difference. We're able to achieve exactly this. If you're able to achieve this, I'll tell you congratulations. If you didn't achieve it, no problem, you're still learning. Take a look at what I did, correct your mistakes, and once you're up and running, then meet us in the next class where we'll give you a little, should I call it advice or counseling or whatever you see it, just a way of motivating you. Motivational talk, okay? Why you should not give up in what you're doing, okay? But please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Subscribe, so anytime I release this kind of thing, you'll be the first to get it. Like every week, I try my best to release this kind of video like 2 times or 3 times a week. So if you subscribe to this channel, you'll be the first. Once I release it, you'll see it, you can learn it. Thank you for coding with Steven today. See you in our next class. Thank you.